All right, so now, today, we're going to move on to a little more emotional work, because as came up when we played the sound game, the frustration came into the picture, I recall, and I don't recall some of the other emotions, but we want to work with a worksheet on expanding the emotions beyond just the two that most people think of, which are fear and love, right? So we're going to doing all sorts of varying degrees of that. So I'm going to give you some material for your notebook. These are some additional sounds that you can add to your sound box. And now we're going to work into this worksheet. And that's going to be in your workbook. And what it is basically is in the left-hand column you have emotional states. And what do I mean by that? Well, tired, what are some of them? Lonely, bored, calm, all those kinds of things. So we're expanding upon fear and love in this way, all right? And then what happens is that I'm going to ask you to recall. Remember those things that get stored in the body, those are those cellular memories that you recall a time of being tired, all right? And then also what your feelings and sounds were with that, all right?
Okay.
Now, once we get started, then I'll point out some of the other things that I want you to think about when we do this exercise. Okay, so let's work through it. Let's just take it from the top. Give me a time in your life when you felt really tired.
Wow, why is this difficult? This, recently, I felt really tired after going for a long run.
All right, okay. And what kinds of sounds did you make? Did you make any sounds when you were doing the run or after the run? Okay, and that's a new one. Haven't heard that one. Good, good.
Yeah.
All right, great.
I was very aware of my breath.
Yep, exactly. And let's move on then to, well, this one came up last time, frustrated. When have you felt frustrated? Maybe this weekend, Misha, if we're honest, huh?
Yes. This weekend we did our wedding invitations.
And
it was fun, but it was also, like, really? 5 hours? F-U-C-K.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, good one. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, exactly. So then if we have lonely.
Oh, yeah. Definitely lonely when, yeah, there was a time recently where I had this experience with a good friend where we recognized that we were sort of drifting into different parts of our lives. Mm-hmm. And when I really touched into that place, I felt lonely.
Okay, and what sounds would you, if you didn't make them, thinking of that time, what sounds would you make to sound lonely? All right. Yeah.
I never really cried, but I felt very, like, there was a series of about maybe 5 days where I felt close to teariness, and there was a lot of and I touched my chest an awful lot, actually.
Now, if that was a little lonely kitten, to bring in some animal sounds, she said, that was a little lonely kitten at the door. Yeah. That is just really kind of a
Yeah.
And
And actually, when Moonbeam, our cat, like if we're sitting outside and Moonbeam wants to come outside, it bring, like, and I hear those sounds, it makes me feel those exact feelings within myself. It's like Yeah.
Yeah, poor thing,
Yeah.
poor baby, yes.
Yeah.
And I bring up those animal sounds because those will be coming into the picture eventually too. And animal sounds, particularly those kittens, really get at grief. Yeah, those kinds of things if we really start to work with them, then that helps us process the grief a little bit better or easier.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we have a couple more. How about mischievous?
You mean like when I'm walking past Brian and I just want to swat his butt?
Yes, good one. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, there we go.
It's a delighted mischievous.
Exactly.
It's an elfin mischievous. It's not like a
yeah. But see there again, it depends on what you're thinking, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Exactly. All right. Cautious. Give me cautious.
I'm trying to think of an example of when I felt cautious recently.
The body goes back. It doesn't want to be out there.
Yeah, but when I had an experience actually on Saturday, it's a different experience where I was very close to your home actually at the intersection of a light, and the light was green, and a fire truck came around the corner, but it wasn't making noise. It wasn't doing the emergency vehicle sounds, and the car in front of me put on its brakes, and I had to slam on the brakes, and I was extraordinarily cautious driving after that. And even sort of the whole rest of the day, I was I was very pensive, cautious,
Right, that tentative.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even the way I was moving was different.
Yep.
I felt a little smaller too. It was almost like I contracted as well, as opposed to. Yeah.
Right. Right.
I mean, in the moment, it was more like, but
fear.
Right. It was total fear, like reactive fear, and I did a good job of reacting. But throughout the rest of the day, it was. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, we've got enough examples for me to bring up this next point that I want to make, and that